Hey, we're live on the internet, folks. So welcome along. And
Right.
let me introduce you to Sam from Liberty Animal Sanctuary. Now, we've got to say, technically, if there's a bit of a delay on Ronnie's voice, it's because he's coming from Panama. And unfortunately, we've only just found out that he's taken all the money from all the other shows and he's gone to Panama to become a millionaire. So what's
Yeah,
going on?
I'm out here. I'm out here with my mate James Espy. We're setting up some investment thing in some weird currency thing. He tells me that it's going to be all right to put all my money in. So there we are. And of
Well, the
course,
more money you've got, the better for the animals.
better for the animals. If I'm a millionaire, then that's better for veganism, isn't it? So thank you very much for all your donations, everyone. And
Look at this. Look at this, Ronnie. That's from Bernie V. I lags. The respect on the show.
That's it. Yeah, lags. That's a good one, isn't it? Lags.
Yeah, I've not heard that for a good while.
Yeah. But
So
no.
This is the sixth one, Ronnie. Yeah.
The sixth one, yeah, it keeps on and on going. This, like, when we first started it, I probably thought it'd be about 2 episodes, but
Yeah, we can't shut you up, Ronnie. That's the problem.
It's because I was put in prison for such a long time that there's so many stories coming out of it. But it's nice that that can be used to raise money for animal sanctuaries, and the one that we're doing it for this time is Liberty Animal Sanctuary. It's up in the up in Staffordshire, and another lots of different animals, lots of farmed animals there. A brilliant place, and hoping that people are going to give lots of donations to Liberty. I mean, start giving now. I don't know whether you've got the PayPal there, Roger. You can put up.
Oh,
I mean, we have got the show coming up. The show is on next Thursday at 7 p.m. on Roger's YouTube, of course, as always. And there'll be in the description of this advert. There should be a link to the actual main show. I hope.
Yeah,
and that's the that's where you send your money. PayPal me Liberty Sanctuary. So I mean, people can start donating now if they want. They no need to wait, and then you give money now, and then you won't have to suffer on Thursday watching us all again.
Well, that's true. How many other animals have you got at the sanctuary there, Sam?
Getting on for 200-ish, I think.
Yeah.
I had a count up for a bit, but you can have 20 chickens in one go and pump your numbers up, can't you? So I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Do you have like a ceiling that you kind of like think, well, we're full now type of thing?
Yeah, you have to be responsible, or else you'll just be hoarding animals and not be able to care for them any better than some of the places that they've come from. So large animals, especially, yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because before we came on air, we were talking about the good old days, as we do, especially in this show, and we were saying that there's been a bit of a revolution, hasn't there? Because a lot of sanctuaries we know, at least, they're vegan run. Whereas Ronnie, you were saying you were trying to get homes, ALF homes, and we could hardly find any vegan run ones, and they were all cats and dogs.
Yeah, the cats and dog sanctuaries, and you'd go there. I mean, we rescued a lot of. I mean, the ALF did rescue some farmed animals a bit later on, really, a small, small numbers. I remember a rescue where some goats were taken from. I think they were taken from a laboratory and rehomed. But it was mainly the animals like cats and dogs and guinea pigs and rats and mice and those type of animals. And there were sanctuaries for those, especially cats and dogs. And so what we would do before we did a raid, we'd go round to sanctuaries and kind of sort of discreetly ask them if they would take animals from the raid, because we needed to have the places set up first for the animals to go to. And so we go to an animal sanctuary, and sometimes they'd be having their dinner there. We'd go in to see them, and they'd be sat there with a chicken leg on their plate or a hunk of beef or something, they were invariably meat eaters, the people around these places. And the other thing that was kind of, I suppose, amusing and a bit sad at the same time was they all hated each other. Like you'd go to one sanctuary and say, "Oh, can you take some? We're gonna, be getting some beagles, and can you take some?" And they'd say, "Yeah, we can, maybe take 4 or 5." And they'd say, "You haven't been to that sanctuary up the road, have you?" And we'd go, well, no, we were going to go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. She's horrible, that woman that runs that. No, she's awful. Don't go there. You see, but we'd ignore it and we'd go to that sanctuary and then ask if they'd take some animals. And the people running that would then say, talk about the other sanctuary and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have gone there. They're terrible." And all these places, they all hated each other for some reason, the sanctuaries. I don't know. Hopefully that's not still the case these days, but it seemed to be then. But we just ignored it. We just obviously, we sussed the place out. We'd have a look at the sanctuary, make sure it was a decent place. We didn't want to be taking animals into bad conditions. But they'd be okay with us, but with each other they weren't.
Well, we've got a good comment there from Dave. If you're getting any sound pollution, I just realised I got my washing machine on, so I don't know if you can hear it.
It's that time of year again, is it, Roger?
It is, yeah.
How domesticated.
Yeah, coming up for August.
It'd be time for your yearly bath soon as well, won't it?
Oh, I don't know about that. No. Yeah.
Or do you just rub a flannel round certain places now?
Yeah, since the lockdown, I don't need a bath, I don't think. But,
no, it doesn't. Well, they say if you go about 6 weeks without a bath, then you stop smelling for some reason to do with bacteria or something.
There's an experiment. This guy lived in a desert. I don't think it was a particularly hot desert, but all he did was he rubbed himself down with like a rough towel, and he said after a few months, his hair started to really look good and he didn't smell anymore and everything. And so it was a kind of experiment that they did.
Did anybody verify that he didn't smell?
With a rough towel.
Because this desert sounds like there wasn't many other people there to say otherwise.
It was probably on the BBC, Samson, the BBC doctor.
That sounds a bit painful. You'd have to be careful where you rubbed yourself with a rough towel, wouldn't you? It could be quite...
With sand on it, probably.
With sand on it could be quite... that could be quite painful, couldn't it?
Again, the respect has all gone. No, I've moved on to electricity now, Michael. So
Roger doesn't wash my hand. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. Yeah. Anyway,
we're gonna show you a bit of a teaser. Let me see if I can get it up here. Come on. There's a bit of a delay between the computers, folks, so hang on a second. It doesn't want to do it. Hang on.
I can hear the spin cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You unplug the washer in instead of computer.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we are.
Yeah. So So we've got a few pictures. So when they come up, Sam, maybe you could introduce the residents.
I'll have a go.
Just say a couple of things, which is what we'll do. So this is a bit of a teaser, folks. So we're only going to show you a few of the residents on this time. Okay, let's see if we can remember how to use this technology. There we go. Almost there.
That's a bit of Rosie the pig. Oh, there's the rest of her. So the big pig there, she is the boss of the sanctuary. That's Rosie.
All right.
And we've had her since she was tiny, and she was really poorly with a great big abscess in her face that was just left, and the vets had to deal with that. And that little one behind her was from Kidderminster. And that's a little pig called Daisy that was living in somebody's house, and the council were going to evict him, so they just begged for a home. And she was actually the first pig we ever had, Daisy was. She's the same age as Rosie. They're both around about 2.5, something like that.
What intrigues me about Rosie, Sam, is that she's fairly small, isn't she?
She is absolutely. If you were stood next to her, she's big.
Okay.
Yeah. She's 150 kilo pig or something. She's just. We keep them slim because we don't want them having joint problems in the future. Obviously, overweight, make them fat, and they'll just end. Because she's only 2.5. She could live till she's 15, and she might end up having arthritis by the time she's 7 if we give her loads of. Because she eat mainly hay. Pig feeding loads of vegetables, so we try to keep the weight down the best we can for their health. Vets are all happy with them and stuff. So she's just shouting at the goats over the fence. That's Daisy and Bruce. Bruce is a piglet from a pig we rescued from an allotment. Who both pigs were pregnant, and we ended up with loads of piglets. And between us and Footprints had all the piglets pretty much other than Bruce, and they sorted rehoming, and some still live with them. Yeah, they're really good people.
Smashing. So whereabouts are Footprints? Are they
they're near us. They're just in Maidley, the other side of Newcastle. So they're really close to us, really. That's one of the goats we had. He was a dairy boy that was going to be shot, and someone we knew worked at the dairy asked them for 4 of them. So we got given 4 boys, and now they're like a year and a bit old, and they're just mental. And they just eat anything that moves.
Was he dehorned? Yeah.
Well, they were debuddied, but by somebody who hasn't got a clue how to debud. So they keep growing, but really, they're not growing properly. They keep snapping off, and we're constantly having problems. Vets coming out, because horns are snapping off, and blood loss and stuff. So it's a non-stop thing, and they're too old now to do anything about, because it'd be too much of an invasive procedure. It's just a case now of trimming them down, keeping them the best we can, really.
Well, I'd like to thank Bernie here, but we want to point out that we're really asking for money mainly, Bernie.
Not for we. But I've got a story.
Some people are into that.
I've got a story that combines we and goats.
Interesting
enough, I would have, because when we had the ALF press office / ALF supporters group office in Hammersmith, I worked there with a friend called Vivian Smith, and she rescued a male goat from it. It was a farm producing goat's milk, and they had a male kid that was going to be go for slaughter. She rescued this kid, and he wasn't little. They kept him a while. He was like a kind of sort of teenage goat, I suppose. And we found a home for him, a place for him at the sanctuary in Cambridgeshire. And so I had a big old car at the time, and Viv sat in the back seat with the goat, and we drove all the way. I think we had to drive all the way up the M11 from London up to this sanctuary up in Cambridgeshire, and this goat in the back with Viv, and we were almost there. We got to the gates of the sanctuary, and the goat pissed all over her in the back of the.
It was your car.
Yes, my car. Yeah. So we only had about 100 yards to go before we got to the sanctuary. He obviously waited all that time and then just went at the last minute. And obviously I had to clean all the car when I got back, and Viv came home. The woman who rang the sanctuary, Viv, came home wearing her clothes, or some of her clothes that the woman gave her to change into.
Right. My mate's just come in, the dog.
Hey.
Who's this? He's a full ex-badgering dog rescue.
Lovely.
He's absolutely bonkers, aren't you?
Brilliant. Yeah, love lurchers. We've had a few.
Speaking of dogs, who knows I think it's either comparable or even pigs might live a little longer than dogs, won't they?
I've read 12 years-ish, but obviously they don't know, because a lot of pigs don't get the chance. So I don't imagine they've had a lot of scientific research put into how long a pig grows, because not many people have until the end of the lifespan, I suppose.
Well, 12 years, that'd be a bit little less then, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming different breeds of pigs, like different breeds of dogs, live longer than others. I'm assuming.
Smaller dogs tend to live longer, don't they? It might well be the same for pigs.
So who have we here?
I'll be honest, I'm not very good with chicken names. If Emma was here, she'd be telling you. She knows them all. I'm going to say that one is Hedwig. I'm probably wrong. And the one behind, we've got about 1 million of them Warrens. So I'm going to say her name's KP, because that's one that we've got. But yeah, a lot of the chickens that come in are horrendous. I go to like farms when they're renewing stock, and if they're giving them away for free and I can blag some, I'll blag some, basically. Yeah.
I've always got this kind of theory that, you know, like we always name other animals. I wonder whether they get together and go, well, you know, what silly name have you been given? Because they've probably got their own names, really, you know, in terms of their own society, you know, which is quite weird. But,
yeah. I think they have names for us, to be honest.
They've definitely got names for me.
Probably not very complimentary names, I don't think.
They do like hand signals and stuff.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna these are two of the videos, so I'm gonna just try and play one at a time because I've had a bit of a technical issue with this. In fact, I got a new modem today because my my internet kept crashing, and they told me I was going to get an upgrade, and it arrived, and it's just a replacement. So I'm a bit sad about that, but never mind. Let's see if this will play. I'll just do one at a time. So it'll be a bit sketchy, I think. But it should be the sheep moving. It's a little bit jumpy, unfortunately.
The sheep where they are there, we've been bringing them into this little yard area just off the field, just getting them ready to when they get sheared next week. So just getting them used to coming in this gate, having the food, then we can use that area to shear them, get them back into the field after. They're just getting used to it. Not that they need to get used to it because you put food out and they're wherever you want it to be.
Do you have to do the hoofs quite a lot, Sam?
Yeah. I say my partner's brilliant at like she's from a farming background. She grew up on a farm, so she's shit hot with that sort of thing, keeping on top of medication and obviously all the issues that to look out for that I wouldn't have a clue what to look out for. They were caged lambs from 2 years ago that we managed to get off a local farm, all bottle fed from Tiny. And now they're just like big cats that won't sit on your knee and stuff.
And this chap's a turkey, is this right?
Yeah, female turkey. I think that one's called Pickle. We've had so many turkeys. People find them in the back of slaughter trucks. We've had a few where they've been to the slaughterhouse, emptied all the turkeys out, took the wagons to be washed, and there's still turkeys in the back. Live turkeys in the back of the slaughter trucks. Whether somebody at the slaughterhouse feels sorry for them and passes them on, or I don't know. We just get a call saying someone's left a turkey in the back of this truck alive, and will you look after it? And we do.
Hey Ronnie, have you seen Sam's arms there? If you're going to make it in Panama, mate, you're going to have to get some tattoos.
Yeah, I'd have to get some transfers. Probably I'm a bit old now for tattoos, or I might write something on my arm in biro, maybe. You know, try and get by that way.
Don't get tattoos like these. These are terrible. These are big mistakes in your life.
Well, that's what they said. There was that good meme, wasn't there, where there was a couple of people in a nursing home, and they were kind of doing guess the tattoo. You know, what did it used to be? Kind of.
And it's just a blue blob.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, blue blob. Right, so that's the last of those. So we've got some really brilliant film from you, Sam, and also some more excellent pictures for next week. So. That's just a teaser, really. We're such a tease, aren't we, Ronnie?
We are indeed, and it's going to be well worth tuning in on Thursday evening. Lots more pictures of animals, videos.
Last year during lockdown, the Animal Rebellion group did a live stream from our sanctuary, like a virtual sanctuary tour, and they started doing a few after, and that went really well. We did like an hour live showing, going through the animals bit by bit, and it was really good, to be fair.
Yeah, I think a few sanctuaries do that, and it's an interesting one actually, because there are some sanctuaries that I know that won't let the public in because they say, well, you know, this is a resident's home and all this kind of stuff. Well, that would be like a compromise, really, in the sense that you could have humans that the other animals know going around with a camera and that would be a way of letting them in without letting them in, if you like. It should be quite interesting.
We are lucky in the fact that a lot of our animals, because they've had so much hands-on interaction with people, they just, I say we've had visitors who've been to loads of sanctuaries, and they say that our animals are really friendly, and that's just because you have so much time spent with them, I suppose. So it is good for the animals. I like interacting with people and the animals together, and the amount of meat eaters and vegetarians who come and then change their opinion after they've had hands-on interaction with animals. I think it's great for the veganism of animals.
There's kind of pros and cons both ways. You kind of understand that. But again, when people meet farmed animals, they're meeting individuals for the first time, aren't they?
We've had kids come in and they don't understand what a chicken is, and then half an hour later they'll be sitting there with chickens all over them on the floor, dead excited, saying, "Oh, there's a chicken on my knee," and then they go home and I'm never eating chicken again, and that's great.
That's what you want, yeah. That's what you want. Yeah, I think there's a big part to play by vegan-run sanctuaries that had farmed animals in actually educating people to go vegan. I think they've got a very important role in that.
Educating than having people interacting with an animal, seeing the personality, and then thinking that's the same as the dog I've got at home's personality, and then they don't want to eat it. Obviously, it's good for veganism.
Right, Ronnie, we've been on 20, so do you want to give the last little plug and we'll say goodbye to the world?
Yes. As I say, do come along on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock.
They'll never get to Panama in time, Ronnie.
I know, yeah. When's your return flight? You might have quarantine for 2 weeks.
I've got to go to the Bahamas and then to Bali before I return home briefly to pick up some more donations.
I love the way you said that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So give to my. I'm setting up one of them. What's the name of it? Where they have them? I forgot the name of it. Is it Patreon thing?
Oh,
yeah, one of them. Give all your money to that.
You want bits of some coins? You want some bits of
Bitcoin or something? Yeah, it's one of them things. I don't remember Bitcoins. I mean, I'm more in the age of like pieces of 8 and guineas and things like that. It's more my age.
Collecting something in the future.
Collecting stamp. I used to collect. I've still got a stamp collection actually. I've still got it. I'll have to sell it really. I used to collect coins. I collected coins, and I had all these coins from all going right back to like 1900, all in an album and everything. I kept them, and I when I was in jail, my parents looked after them, all these coins, and then
that's what they told you.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. Because what happened was, I went round to see my parents some years later, and I said to my mum, I wouldn't mind having a look at the coin collection. You know where it is. She told me it was in the cupboard, one of the cupboards upstairs. I got it out, I looked through it, and like all the silver coins were missing, all the kind of florins. People won't know what a florin was. It was a 2-shilling piece of old money, wasn't it? It's be worth 10p now, and florin and half crowns and things like that. They were all gone. And what had happened? My dad had taken them to put in the cigarette machine. he robbed my coin collection.
Cash my gold.
Put in the fag machine. Yeah.
Is that one of the stories in your biography, Ronnie?
I think it probably is in there. Yeah, that he did that. Yeah, he was nearly as bad a crook as me, to be honest. My dad,
but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Next weekend, folks. Actually, I've got to tell you. Before we came on air, these people here were mean to me because I was saying I'm not quite sure if I've got any allegedly funny stories left about my time in prison, and so Sam and Ronnie was going, well, why don't you go and smash a window, and get in for a bit more, so you've got a funny story to tell. So I thought that was pretty mean, So there you go.
But you still go and do it anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I think it's mean to the poor prison people that would have to have you in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I go back to with the quick chat that we used to.
What we want to do is come here to prison in wherever I am in this exotic location there.
You're still in Panama, I think.
In Panama, I forget where I am all the time. Anyway,
So
that's
we'll
not
see you
unusual.
next week. And
Yeah, come along Thursday, 7 o'clock, and have lots of money ready to donate to Liberty Animal Sanctuary, and we look forward to seeing everyone then.
yeah, and thanks for all the work you do, Sam, at the sanctuary. And we'll see you all next week, folks. So
Thank you very much.
bye for now.
Take care, folks. Bye.
Bye.